Hey guys, we're gonna go over some common mistakes that I see done with the Texas rig, and these are more how they're rigged, not really how to fish them. These are just some common mistakes that someone sometimes see. First is this: it's not straight. That's the main problem here. Whoever done this got lazy with it, which is me. But for example, now this is exaggerated, but for reference, you want them straight. So in order to fix this, it was obviously hooked way too far in the back, and that's why it's all crumpled up. If you just let the bait hang freely, it'll tell you where the hook needs to be by telling you right here where the back is. Now this is a little bit, this is the hook I use. So then just go straight through, and then there. Now it's straight. Now the only reason it's kind of like that is just because the way it sits in the box, but it is straight though. Another common thing, real quick, I see is not getting it through the center of the back. Whenever I see Texas rigs that are like this, way off to the side, it drives me insane, because a lot of times they end up really crooked looking. This one's not so bad because it's done really good up here, but whenever this is done off center and this is done off center, then it gets really bad. Next is trying to use a offset shank, or trying to rig an offset shank the same way you do a EWG, by going straight horizontally through the bait. That's not the case with these, because whenever you do that, the only way to get this text posed again, you get a really nasty looking kink, or you do this and then it's just not right. The hook is way out there, it's going to get hung up. Whenever you're using a offset or a straight shank, you want to push the hook into the bait at an angle. Okay, so you're really putting it back into instead of through it. Now again, this will tell you by just letting it hang. Back of the hook you can see is down here. Try and do this good for the camera. And then push it back in at an angle like that. Now my bait is very straight. Hook is hidden or concealed. It's protected, but it takes nothing. Bam, hook is there. You're getting them. Another one is this. I don't know if you'll be able to tell right off the bat, but it's right here. And this is also a common mistake because the EWG is the most common hook used. Everyone starts out with it. So they carry over, they don't understand or don't know that there are a few subtleties to using different hooks. And that is right here. So like in the last one, how I accidentally went through the bait instead of back into the bait and got it messed up. I went straight into the head of the bait, as you can see, just like an EWG. That's how you want to do it on EWG, but with these offset and straight shanks, since the hook point and the line tie are not in line, it creates a natural angle. So in order to get it straight, you want to go through at an angle, like so. That way, whenever you run it back up and you push the hook back through, now you have a nice straight bait. Next is using too big of a hook. Now, does it work? Yes. Will you catch fish with this? Yes. Is it going to affect how you catch fish? No, of course not. But you're going to tear up more baits. Because as you can see, there is just a very, very little bit holding this on. As soon as a fish, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to tear it up, but as soon as a fish comes down on this, all it takes is for that last maybe eighth of an inch to give, and it breaks. A properly hooked one is going to be more here in the center or the back quarter, kind of back in here, usually where I am trying to be. Next is using a offset shank worm hook on a larger profile bait. Now, can you still catch fish with this? Yes, of course. But here's the problem with it. So whenever that bait collapses, there's no room. There's not that much hook gap there that fish to get hooked right here. And you're going to end up losing fish, you're going to end up not hooking up with that many fish. But with these, as you can see, whenever it collapses, there is plenty of room there. Lastly is one I don't see very often, but I do see from time to time, and that's putting the weight wrong. You want the weight this way, like that, because this will go through the grass. Think of it like a swim jig. If it's like this, it's going to catch grass, and you're either going to get caught up, or it's just going to start catching grass, and you're going to be pulling your bait plus a pound of grass along with it. Also, whenever you hook a fish, okay, and he eats it, and you go to set the hook, that trying to go through his mouth is going to open it up even more than so like that, because it's just a subtle, or it's a sudden, it's just so abrupt, and it pops the mouth wide open. So that's it for a few common mistakes I see done with the Texas rig. Again, this is not really how to fish them, or mistakes I see fishing them. This is just mistakes I see on just the simple rigging part of it. So, you know, if you have any video ideas, comments, questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll have links and discounts for a couple of the Riot baits here, or I'll have a discount for all the Riot baits, and I'll have a link to Riot's website so you can go check them out and pick some up. I'll have my discount code in the description box below as well. So, thank you. God bless.